Deep beneath Iran's mountains, hidden under layers of reinforced rock and billions of dollars in military engineering, lies a secret world. Not cities for civilians, cities for missiles. Vast underground tunnel networks carved through mountainsides, roads wide enough for transporter launchers, cavernous halls lined with ballistic missiles capable of striking targets across the entire Middle East. For years, Tehran believed these underground missile cities were untouchable. Its ultimate insurance policy, its war-winning doctrine, its final line of survival. But tonight, those same underground fortresses are becoming sealed tombs. The tunnels are collapsing. The launch shafts are caving in. The exits are being buried under precision strikes. And the weapon making this possible is unlike anything ever used at this scale before. The GBU-57 massive ordnance penetrator, America's 30,000-pound bunker-busting monster. Welcome to BCC News. Today we're breaking down the systematic destruction of Iran's underground missile cities. The devastating bunker buster campaign that changed the war, and the fatal strategic flaw in Tehran's missile doctrine that the regime never saw coming. If you want deep military analysis, real-time war strategy breakdowns, and the most important battlefield developments anywhere in the world, subscribe to BCC News right now and turn on the notification bell. So with that, bye. Because what happened next may have rewritten the balance of power across the Middle East. Let's begin with the numbers, because the numbers are more devastating than any headline. More than 3,000 precision strikes across Iran, dozens of warships destroyed, an 83% collapse in drone attacks, and after launch hubs were crippled. And most critically, Iran's daily ballistic missile launches have plunged by more than 90% from the opening phase of the conflict. These aren't speculative estimates. These figures come from battlefield intelligence, satellite imagery, military assessments, and real-time defense briefings. But to understand how this collapse happened, we need to focus on the weapon at the center of the entire operation, because this weapon explains everything. The GBU-57 massive ordnance penetrator, also known as the a weapon so classified for so long that most people had never even heard of it until now. This bunker buster is nearly 20 feet long. It weighs 30,000 pounds. It carries the 11 tons of explosive force and can punch through more than 100 feet of reinforced concrete before detonating it. This is the weapon designed for the impossible target. And in this conflict, it was finally unleashed. In one of the most extraordinary long-range bombing operations in modern U.S. military history, 7 B-2 Spirit stealth bombers, launched from Missouri and flew an 18-hour strike mission toward Iran. Multiple aerial refuelings, full stealth ingress, global deception routes. At the same time, another B-2 package flew in the opposite direction as decoys, deliberately confusing any hostile surveillance architecture. More than 125 aircraft supported the wider strike package, including hardened fighter escorts, Achat ISR surveillance aircraft, aerial tankers, Ichan Spawn-C electronic warfare platforms, or chopper drones. The Pentagon named this strike phase Chopper King Chewy and and an Operation Midnight Hammer. And when Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth described the results, the language was unmistakable. Istar D and Tengda. Iran's strategic underground military infrastructure had been devastated. Now here's where this becomes truly extraordinary. The main target was Haochi C for the Wing buried beneath roughly 300 feet of mountain rock. Iran built it there for one reason, to make it unreachable. But what Tehran failed to understand is that American planners had been studying this exact target for 15 years, fighting for doubt. Every ventilation shaft, every exhaust route, every electrical line, every construction signature. The target wasn't discovered overnight. It was mapped obsessively for over a decade. And when the strike came, it was executed with terrifying precision. The first bunker buster cracked open the hardened protective cap. The next sequence of MOPs followed directly through the exposed shaft, diving deep into the underground mission space before detonating. This was not random bombardment. This was layered penetration warfare at a depth never before seen in modern combat. Satellite imagery later showed massive crater chains, altered mountain ridgelines, blocked tunnel systems, and collapsed access routes. But here's the bigger story. The nuclear strike campaign was only one part of a much larger battlefield collapse. Before the B-2s even crossed into mission range, Iran's Char and Chiyul air defense network had already been systematically dismantled. This was the critical enabler: radar systems, SAM batteries, detection nodes, long-range tracking assets destroyed. That gave U.S. and Allied strike aircraft near total freedom of action. And once the skies were opened, attention shifted to the true backbone of Iran's war doctrine. The Ots missile cities, these are not simple bunkers. They are entire subterranean military ecosystems and swag, mountain tunnel roads, storage depots, command nodes, launcher chambers, reload corridors, ballistic missile silos integrated into terrain. For decades, Iran believed this concept made its missile force survivable. Instead, it created the exact opposite. It removed mobility. And that was the fatal flaw. What had once been mobile launch systems scattered across terrain became fixed underground targets. And fixed targets, once identified, are only waiting to be destroyed. The U.S. and its allies didn't need to chase launchers across open desert. They already knew where the entrances were. Satellite traffic analysis, thermal signatures, road construction timelines, personnel movement, resupply convoys, years of surveillance had already built a complete map. So the campaign shifted into wave-based bunker suppression. Strike after strike, wave after wave, tunnel entrances collapsed, surface launch pads destroyed, missile staging points cratered, ventilation exits sealed. And this is where the strategy became devastating. An underground missile city is only useful if missiles can move in and out. The moment the exits are destroyed, the missiles become trapped underground, perfectly preserved, completely unusable. That is exactly what happened. Iran's own missile stockpile was transformed into an entombed arsenal. Its greatest strategic asset became its greatest liability. Launchers emerging from surviving access points were immediately tracked by persistent ISR aircraft and destroyed by precision-guided penetrator bombs. The collapse was measurable almost immediately. Iran opened the conflict with a massive saturation barrage. But within just days, missile launches had dropped by over 90% Nakri. Drone attacks followed the same collapse pattern. This is no longer degradation. This is doctrinal erasure, DAOs. And now, the U.S. campaign is targeting something even more consequential, by showing Iran's ability to rebuild production lines, missile factories, launcher assembly plants, supply chain nodes, and engineering hubs. The strikes are no longer focused only on stored missiles. They are targeting the industrial ecosystem that would allow Tehran to recover. This is the systematic destruction of an entire military doctrine, and it exposes the paradox at the center of Iran's strategy. The missile cities were a genuine engineering achievement, a marvel of hardened underground warfare design. But by concentrating everything into fixed mountain systems, Iran built a roadmap of its own destruction and handed that roadmap to the one adversary with the intelligence patience to study it for 15 years. That is what makes this campaign so devastating. This was not just superior firepower. This was Chi. Superior patience, superior intelligence, and superior timing. Chi. When preparation meets opportunity at this scale, mountains stop mattering. Concrete stops mattering. Depth stops mattering. And that's exactly what the world is watching right now. Iran's missile launch capacity is collapsing. Its underground cities are becoming buried traps. Its production ecosystem is being dismantled. Its deterrence doctrine is being erased in real time, and the geopolitical consequences are enormous. This reshapes the Middle East balance. It weakens Iran's proxy leverage. It pressures allied power structures across the region. And it sends a message to every military planner on Earth. No underground fortress is safe if your enemy has the patience to map it and the bunker busters to reach it. Stay with Vinci and they the and they see news. For every major battlefield update, satellite damage assessment, military strategy breakdown, and geopolitical consequence as this crisis continues to unfold. Subscribe now, hit the bell, and comment below. Did Iran's missile city strategy become its biggest strategic mistake? Because this story is still developing fast. And BCC News will track every strike, every collapse, and every global consequence in Prime.